Hello everyone, welcome to the Entry app. Today we are going to do 18th June current affairs. These have been compiled by me, Bhavna, and I have covered all the extensive sources, which includes the Indian Express, the Hindu, PIB, and all the other important news sources. So let's start with today's session. So, for better understanding of everybody, I have divided the news into different subheads. These are the very common subheads like national, international, people in news, awards, rankings, index, people in news. So, this would help you to understand the news in a better format. Let's start with the today's news. So, our first news of the day is India to send tri-services contingent to Russia's Victory Day parade. So, India would be sending a tri-service military contingent to participate in Russian Victory Day parade, which would be held on June 24, 2020. It was supposed to held on May 9, which is actually the Victory Day, but it got delayed because of COVID-19. India had earlier participated in Russian parade for the first time in 2015, but at that time only Indian Army had participated. This time all the three services will be participating. Approximately 75 per people are going and 25 from each cadre. So the Russian Victory Day basically marks the surrender of Nazi Germany in 1945, and 2020 marks 75th anniversary of this victory. Some quick facts. Our Union Defense Minister is Mr. Rajnath Singh. Chief of Army Staff is Manoj Mukund Narwane. Chief of Naval Staff is Karambir Singh. Chief of Air Force Staff is Rakesh Kumar Bhadoria. And India's first Chief of Defense Staff is General Bipin Rawat. The second news of the day is also very important. India and Nepal have signed an MOU for Pashupatinath Temple. India has decided to build a sanitation facility in the iconic Pashupatinath Temple, which is a holy pilgrim for the Hindus, and it's also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This temple is situated on the banks of Bagmati River and is situated near Kathmandu. This project would be developed under the Nepal Bharat Maitri Development Partnership. Also, please remember that this signing of this MOU comes at a very important junction where India and Nepal are already facing a lot of border issues, where Nepal has passed a new map which includes Kalapani, Lipu Lake and Limpi Yadura, which are a part of Indian territory, as a part of Nepal's territory. So this MOU is actually very important at coming at this junction. With this, let's move on to the next news of the day. So third news is related to a government scheme by the name Vandhan Yojana, in which the government is planning to expand 18,000 Vandhan SHGs, which are the self-help groups, to 50,000. So Vandhan Yojana is a scheme of Ministry of Tribal Affairs. This was launched in the year 2018 by our Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi in Bijapur, Chhattisgarh. TriFed, which stands for Tribal Cooperative Marketing Development Federation of India and functions under Ministry of Tribal Affairs, is the nodal agency for this scheme. So, a cabinet minister for the Ministry of Tribal Affairs is Mr. Arjun Munda. So, our next news of the day says 500-year-old temple found submerged in Mahanadi River of Odisha. So this temple has been found in the Nayagarh district of Odisha and is believed to be dedicated to Lord Vishnu. So this has been discovered by a team of archaeologists from the Indian National Trust for Art and Cultural Heritage. So this ancient temple was built using the Mastaka style of construction. So this temple has been specifically found in Padmavati village, which was earlier regarded as a part of Satpatna. Satpatna means a combination of 7 villages, but however, with Mahanadi river changing its course, the entire place was submerged around 19th century, and this complete project is undertaken by historian Anil Dhir. So our next news of the day says PM Cares Fund trustees appoint SARC and Associates as auditor. So trustees of the PM Cares Fund, PM Cares stands for Prime Minister's Citizens Assistance and Relief in Emergency Situation. So this is a very important fund that has been created on 28 March 2020, especially for these situations like COVID-19 pandemic. And this fund will be basically used for combating and containment and relief efforts against the coronavirus outbreak and pandemic situations like such if arise in future. So Prime Minister is the chairman of this fund, And the trustees of this fund includes the defense minister, the union home minister, and the union finance minister. So our defense minister is Mr. Rajnath Singh, the union home minister is Mr. Amit Shah, and the minister of finance, the union finance minister is Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman. So this fund has the capacity to enable and allow micro donations of minimum rupees 10 as well. The trustees of this fund have appointed Sark and Associates as the auditor. So the next news of the day is Indian Army has tweaked the battle physical efficiency test policy for women. So the BPET, that is the Battle Physical Efficiency Test for Women policy of Indian Army, has been tweaked, means it has been changed. So it has been made mandatory for all women officers, including those commissioned before 2009 and above 35 years of age, who were earlier exempted from it. So this BPET is a series of physical tests that are meant to test the physical fitness of an officer or a Jawan to perform military tasks. So the different tasks that are covered under this BPET, it includes a 5-kilometer run, a 60-meter sprint, climbing vertical rope up to a certain height, transversing horizontal rope up to a certain distance, and jumping. So this policy has been tweaked. So the chief of our army staff is General Manoj Mukund Narwane. Our Union Defense Minister is Mr. Rajnath Singh. And with this, we move to the next section of our news. So the next section of our news talks about economy, banking, and business news. Let's see what news do we have to study in this section. So the news is CBIC Chairman M. Ajit Kumar launched e-office application in all CGST. M. Ajit Kumar, who is the chairman of CBIC, which is the Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, has launched e-office application in over 500 CGST and custom offices across India. So with the launch of this e-office, it has provided a basis for faceless, contactless, and paperless indirect tax administration. CB is the national nodal agency responsible for administering customs, GST, central excise, service tax, and narcotics in India. So the chairman is M. Ajit Kumar, and its headquarters are situated in New Delhi. Also, CGST over here stands for Central Goods and Services Tax. So this e-office application has been developed by NIC and is supported by the Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances. NIC stands for National Informatics Center, and this is an attached office under the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology of the Indian government. So this basically provides all the important IT infrastructure which is related to the digital initiatives of our digital India. So now we have arrived at the states news. So the first news in the states news section is UP government decides to adopt a scheme of flatted factory model. Now, what is this flatted factory model? Flatted factory means multi-storied buildings in which multiple non-polluting units can operate. So this will ensure easy availability of land for industries and also generate employment. So this model can be adopted only for the non-polluting manufacturing unit permitted by Industrial Development Authority, and examples of such factories include manufacturing of ready-made garments and handicrafts. Our next news of the day is West Bengal government launches Karmo Bhumi. So West Bengal government has launched this job portal by the name Karmo Bhumi for IT professionals who have returned to the state amid this COVID-19 pandemic. So this portal will basically act as a medium between professionals and IT companies and will do away with the need of a middleman. With this, we end the states news section and let's move on to our next section of the news. So our next section is people in news, where we discuss important appointments, brand ambassadors, resignation, obituaries. Obituaries are the news related to death and other important newsmakers. The first news in this section is Philippine journalist Maria Ressa convicted of libel, given 6-year term. So what does the term libel means over here? The word libel means defamation. It is kind of writing something bad or false about somebody. So Maria Ressa, who's a journalist in Philippines, she owns this online news site by the name Rappler Inc. And she has been considered guilty of libeling this wealthy businessman, Wilfredo King. So this journalist has also been quite critical about the current Philippine president. And the name of the president is Rodrigo Duterte. With this, let's move on to the next person in news. So again, a very important news, Anmol Narang becomes the first Sikh woman to graduate from US Military Academy. So Anmol Narang has made history by becoming the first observant Sikh to graduate from the prestigious United States Military Academy. USMA is also known as West Point or Army West Point. So this completes our people in news section, and let's move on to the next section. The next section is of the awards. So again, a very important news, Hyderabad-based Deccan Development Society has won an international award by the name the Prince Albert II of Monaco Foundation Award. This is one of the most coveted environmental awards in the world for the year 2020. So this NGO DDS, Deccan Development Society, has won an award of 40,000 euros, which is approximately 35 lakhs. And this has been given to the society in recognition of the work of DDS women to rehabilitate degraded lands and promote biodiversity. Earlier, DDS has also won prestigious UNDP award, Shining World Protection Award. And with this, let's move on to the next section of our news. So the next section talks about the ranking and index. So the first news in this section is India has ranked 43rd on the World Competitive Index. So this is the position that is India has maintained since last year. So this is this World Competitive Index, which is released by Institute for Management and Development, and Singapore has topped this index, and it's an index for 63 countries. The overall position has remained unchanged in 2020 list, but India has recorded improvement in areas like long-term employment growth, current account balance, high-tech exports, foreign currency reserves, public expenditure on education, political stability, and overall productivity. However, it has moved down in areas like exchange rate stability, real GDP growth, competition, legislation. The next one is again a very important report. So this is a report by CPRI, which is also known as Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. So CPRI's yearbook 2020 states that the number of nuclear warheads in Chinese arsenal are at 320, while the nuclear forces of Pakistan and India are estimated to have 160 and 150 weapons respectively. With 6375 and 5800 warheads, Russia and US together possess more than 90% of global nuclear weapons. So the top nine nuclear armed countries are the US, Russia, UK, France, China, and on sixth number is India, which is followed next by Pakistan at the seventh number. The headquarters of CPRI are situated in Solna, Sweden, and this is an international institute which is dedicated to research into conflict, armaments, arms control, and disarmament. And now we have come to the last section in which we always discuss the important international or national day. So let's see which is the important international day that we'll be covering today. So it's the Sustainable Gastronomy Day. So let's understand, what does the term sustainable gastronomy mean? So gastronomy is also known as the art of food, and it refers to a style of cooking from a particular region. And sustainable gastronomy means cuisines that takes into account where the ingredients are from, how the food is grown, and how it gets to our markets and eventually to our plates. So this day was designated as an International United Nations Day in 2016 by the United Nations General Assembly. So with this, we come to an end of today's session. I hope you are able to understand the current affairs. So please make sure that you leave your valuable feedback in the comment section. And thank you for listening. Take care.